Hi, my name's Mark. This is video 6, and there's a bonus video coming after video 6, which you can get from the link below. By all means, when you finish this video, go and listen to the next video, the bonus video. But this is video 6. This is expert level due diligence on the patch, and it's back to comparables or comparing prices with what you've got when you're stacking a deal. Now, on video 1, what we went through is doing the research on your patch, and doing comparables is a crucial skill for any property trader, because you want to make sure your comparables are, or your target property or your property or deal is a great deal. So comparables are done. In the old days, we used to do comparables using sold comparables. So you'd go onto Rightmove and look at what a property sold for in the past, then find other properties that were comparable in the area, and then check the price against those, and you had your price of your property. Now that's a bit of an old-fashioned way of doing it, and the market doesn't move fast enough to get enough sold comparables to make it viable, really. And it's always used by my clients do it as well, because they've been taught to do it that way, and it's always used to hammer down your price or tell you you're too expensive on your deal. So there's a different way of doing comparables, which I'll show you how to do. So let's say we've got a property at 100,000, hand on heart. We've done the research from video 1, and we know it's worth 100,000 in its current condition. We're not valuers, we're not surveyors or anything, we're not banks, we're just property traders, and we're using research and knowledge on the patch to know this particular property is worth 100,000. Now, to compare it, what we've got to do is look on the patch at a comparable property that's on for sale right now at what's called an AP, an asking price. So when you've got an asking price of a property that's the same as yours, or as near as damn it to yours, that's our price. Now, the more you can get of them, the more accurate your price is. So let's say we've got a 2-bed terrace at 100,000, and so what I'm doing is I'm looking on Zoopla. In fact, I'll have a look now. I know you can't see this because I'm online behind you, but I'm looking online now. I'm using the same, the same search as I did in video number 1, where we're doing research on the patch to find out what property is worth. So I've got a property, a 2-bed terrace in Nuneaton in Albury Road at 150,000. Now, if I look at the condition of that property, it looks pretty good from the outside. It's a normal type single bay windowed terrace property. It could do with the paint on the outside, but it's actually not too bad. Inside, it's very good. It's very well dressed. It's a palace. Good. There could be laminate floors, but it looks like hardwood floors in there. The lighting's good. It's a dining table in the back. It's a living room in the front, and the living room looks really good. It's got a nice fireplace, and it's got nice sofas. The sofas aren't too big for the room, which a lot of people do. Coffee tables in there. It looks a comfortable place to spend the space, or spend time in the space. The kitchen looks excellent. It's dressed well. It's got blinds. It's got good kitchen units. They're not dated in any way. They're white with a wood top and then a grey floor. That could do with changing colour, but I'm not going to bother with that now. So the kitchen looks good. Hallway looks pretty good. That's a good hallway. Bathroom's huge. That's obviously been a bedroom in the past, and they've turned it into a bathroom. Main bedroom is good, and the second it's all good. It's all good. It's maybe a little bit too much decor in there and pieces in there, but actually it looks pretty good. And it's at 150,000. So that's a good comparable for my sellout price if I'm selling a palace, as a comparable for my property. Now, because it's the same type of property, and I'll look for another one, a flat-fronted terrace here, which is up for sale. Outside looks really good. It's got shutters on the windows, which is a bit unusual, but the door's good, the front of the house is good, the living room's good. The dining room is good, it's well dressed, it's got hardwood floors, which again might be laminate nowadays. That's what we use. The kitchen's really good. The main bedroom's pretty good. It's bedded, it's got decent curtains in, the colours are tied together, it looks really attractive. So that's a palace as well. And the bathroom's really good. Pedestal sink, low flush toilet, nice bath. It doesn't show a shower, which it should do. Oh, there's a shower cubicle behind the bath, which is really good. So, and the back garden's good as well. So that's at 154,950. So these two very similar houses, both old build, so both Victorian or that era, are both within £4,000 of each other. So I've got a pretty good comparable of what mine will be worth when I've finished it and turned it into a palace. And that's doing DD. Now, there's a little trick here. Now, there's a calculation which is called the asking price to sales price ratio, and it's used by agents across the country to determine what they're getting as a sale price, an actual sale price on a property that's listed with an asking price. Now that number, or that sum, or that formula is 0.92 times by 0.92. And if an agent is running at 0.92, that's a typical across the board, across the country, across the industry type of figure of asking price to sale price ratio. So, or sale to asking price ratio. So if you get that number that it's offered at 154,950 and then times it by 0.92, that's the likely sale price they'll get from that listing. So 0.92, and it's a great way to do a bit of DD using asking prices, i.e. property that's listed, because there's more of them to compare your property with than using sold prices, because you quite often can't get enough in the area, and also they're old. They could be 6 months old, a year old, and the market's changed since a year ago or 6 months ago. So sold prices are the kind of oldie-fashioned way of doing comparables, whereas asking price times 0.92 will get you a likely, a likely figure of what your property is worth when it's finished. And you can do that with any property, as long as you're doing regular stock. So first-time buyer, second-time buyer type stock, which is generally, if you're in a city, it'll be 1 and 2 bed flats, or even studios if you're in a posh city, or a city that's built up like London, for example. You could do studios, 1 bed flats and 2 bed flats. In towns, you could do 1 bed flats, 2 bed flats and 2 bed terraces. In Nuneaton in North Warwickshire, where I am, it's a relatively medium-sized town, about 90,000. So there's about 30,000 houses in the town. I do 2 bed terraces, 3 bed terraces and 3 bed semis as my deal. So that suits the first and second time buy market. And you've got to work out the stock in your area, what works to create your business, your deal trading business, to push deals out to investors, because they won't buy big stuff and big mansions for investment property. They'll buy small houses where renters will rent, and there's a decent market of renters to advertise to get a tenant in there that will stay for 3 to 5 years in the property as they're doing it. So and I can do another one. I could look. In fact, I've got another one here. An old bill house. You try and compare like with like, of course. So I've got an old bill house, flat fronted terrace again. So it's a small footprint property. It's got a small front garden as well. That's on at 155. So I can check out the condition on this one's not quite as good. It's a more cottagey feel house, but it's not quite as good a condition. This one, it's an empty house that's a bit soulless. There's nothing wrong with the kitchen. It doesn't need a refurb or anything. The condition's quite good. It's just an empty house, so it's a little bit soulless. Kitchen's quite big. Dining room is reasonably big. Grey carpets, beige walls, which don't go together, and the picture jars a little bit, but that's what they've done. The bathroom suite is actually quite old. It's a cream-coloured bathroom suite, but it's in great condition, so I maybe wouldn't change that. So 155 for a 2-bed terrace with a good backyard, with side access as well, which is good. So you could park a car in there, and it's got a ramp there as well, so there must be a car parking space. And I know you can't see this because I'm online looking, but you can check this in your own area when you're doing DD. So the next thing is go on to any rental portal. You could go onto Rightmove and check the rent for that area. Check what the tenants are actually paying, or what the offer prices for rent are out there, because you've got to make sure that the property cash flows if you're selling to an investor. Usually on a single let, but whatever your exit is or decided exit is for your particular deal, check what the rent is. Typically on a single let, so 155 in a single let. I'd do it now, but you can do it yourself in your own area. Just check exactly, just pretend to be a tenant and check exactly what your expected rent is before you market your deal, and then you can market out as that to your investors to sell your deal. All right, well, I hope that helped. My name's Mark, and this was doing expert level due diligence on a property deal before you market it out to investors. So there's a bonus video below. By all means, check out the bonus video and see what you can get and how you can take things further with me, with a coach, and make your property business more profitable, because that's what it's all about. So my name's Mark, and I'll speak to you soon.